In this video, I will try to give you a very simple explanation of routers and default gateways. Basically, you will learn what happens when you try to reach other networks. Let me remind you a few things from the previous videos. We have a host operating system, which is macOS for me. It can be Windows for you, it doesn't matter actually. And we have guest operating system, which is CentOS in our case. These two machines are in the same network, which is this one, 192.168.0.0, and the subnet is 24, which means that in this local network we can have 255 network IPs that starts from 1 and ends at 255. The communication between these two machines will be easily established since they are in the same network. To confirm that, we can use ping command, but before that we have to start our CentOS machine. We can start from here, but if you click in this arrow, you will see that we have three modes: normal mode, headless mode, and detachable mode. I will start this CentOS machine in headless mode. So when you start VM in normal mode, when you start virtual machine in normal mode, there will be a window which gives you the graphical user interface of the machine. If you close the window, it means that you need the power of the machine as well. But if you start the virtual machine in headless mode, it means that there will be no window, but you will see the preview window on VirtualBox. So this is the preview window. You will see this window. Since we are going to connect to the guest OS through SSH connection, we don't need any graphical user interface. That's why I will start it on headless mode. And by the way, we have this detachable mode as well. So it is the combination of normal and headless mode. But let's start our VM in headless mode. So we will not get any window, but we can see the preview window here. I'm gonna wait a bit to start the VM. So let's just give it a moment. Let's check it. So I'm gonna use SSH. The username will be BugX Academy. And I think IP is 192.168.0.102, I believe. Yes, this is the correct IP. Provide the password. So we just connect it to our guest machine. I will just create a new tab, terminal tab. So this is the host machine. If I do who am I, so this is equals the user. This is different. This is my host machine, so macOS, and this one is our guest machine. So let's try to ping from host machine to the guest machine. So I'm gonna use ping. The IP is 192.168.0.102. Press enter. As you see that it works. We are able to ping the guest virtual machine from the host operating system. Now let's say we want to reach or ping a totally different network. For example, I have a website. Let me show you. I have this website called BugX.academy. Let's see what IP this website has. So we have this IP. The website has this IP. Let me just ping from the guest operating system as well. Yes, it gives the same IP. As you see that this IP address is absolutely different from the IP address that our guest machine owns. Let me just show you. IPAS. So the guest machine IP is 102. So this IP is different from this IP. They're absolutely different networks. But as you see that we are able to ping BugX.academy, or we can also ping this IP. It is the same thing actually. So let's use ping, then IP address. As you see that we are able to ping this IP address. But if they are absolutely different network, but how does it see this IP? How our CentOS machine see this IP? How is that possible if they are different networks? The very simple answer is it sees this IP by the help of router and default gateway. Basically, the router is used to connect two different networks. In the previous example, when we pinged the guest operating system from the host operating system, no routing was necessary because they were in the same network. I bet you have seen the simple home routers or Wi-Fi routers. Nowadays, everyone has this device, which helps you to connect different networks. When we ping this IP address, the network packet will be sent through the default gateway. The default gateway is the path used to pass the information when the device doesn't know where the destination is. Let's say our machine, CentOS machine, doesn't know where this IP is. Therefore, it will go to the default gateway, which is also called default router. We can check actually what is the default gateway. So in CentOS machine, you can easily type IP route, and this will give you the default gateway, which is this one, 192.168.0.1. And this is the IP address of my home router. So if we type this IP in the browser, it should open the router page. I already did that. As you see that it is 192.168.0.1. Refresh the page. So it is the home page of my Wi-Fi router. If we try to visualize the communication, what happens is the host A wants to communicate with the host B. But host B is different network. So it's across the cloud. Let's say that it's located somewhere else. Host A wants to send packet to this host B. Therefore, at first, host A machine will look for its own routing table. We can easily check what is the routing table in our CentOS machine. So if we type route, then provide an option. So this is the routing table that CentOS machine owns. And as you see that this network is not presented here. There is no entry for the host B. That's why when the CentOS machine, host A, wants to packet to this IP, it will go to the default gateway. Because here it is noted that this means that all unknown networks. So for the all unknown networks, we're gonna go to this gateway. Basically, host A will go to this router, and if the router doesn't have any info about this IP address, the router will use its own default gateway to go to or to connect to this router. And if this router doesn't have any info about this IP as well, then it will use own default gateway to connect to other networks. And finally, it will reach to this destination. So eventually, as you go toward the rest of the internet, you will reach the destination. There can be many routers between the source, host A, and the destination, which is host B. So this is how routing works in a very simple way. If you want to get more info about the routing, routers, gateways, please Google the keywords and read on your own. But yeah, that's all about routers and default gateways. Bye, and I will see you in the next video.